What does it mean when you talk about a Savior? When I talk about a Savior, sometimes we get so wrapped up in Christianese lingo. We see the word and we just kind of forget what it means. A Savior is someone who comes along in a desperate situation and does something for you that nobody else could do. That's what a Savior does. That's who a Savior is. Imagine that you are climbing up a rock side, okay, and you're just trying to get your foothold, and you're trying to get your handhold, and all of a sudden the rocks slip, and you're hanging on just by a pinky, and you're going to fall for sure, and then a hand reaches down from the top and pulls you up. That's what a Savior does. Or for some of you who can't imagine rock climbing, imagine this, that you're back in school. It's one of those nightmares that you have still to this day. And there's a test that's going to happen, and you haven't studied for it. And you know that when you sit for this exam, you are going to flunk. How many admit to still having that nightmare? Yeah, I do. Okay? And then the teacher walks in and says the most wonderful Savior thing. I decided not to give the test today. We're going to do it next week. That's what a Savior does. Or imagine that you are on I-71. You're heading down to Columbus. And it's a lousy drive anyway because they took too long to make 3 lanes. And now, there's still that one bottleneck. And somehow all the traffic is backed up and you need to be somewhere and you are sitting going nowhere, right? You know that frustration? And I want you just to imagine that this helicopter comes along with this gigantic magnet and drops it down the top of your car and pulls you up and flies you to where you need to be and drops you. That's what a Savior does. Or I want you to imagine this, that you have a bad ticker, that you have a heart that's not going to make it very long, and it's about to fail, and you desperately need a heart transplant. In the middle of what might be the very last breath that you ever take, the doctor comes in and tells you that somebody else has died who has a heart that is perfect for you, and they are a donor, and they have donated the heart, and you are going to get a new heart, and you're going to have new life. That is what a Savior does. And in the case of Jesus Christ, He chose to die so that you could have a new heart, so that you could know a new life. That's what a Savior does.